Hey everybody, thanks for watching. This is Be Better Golf Live. I'm the host, Brendan DeVore, and with me today, as usually, is Monte Scheinblum. Monte, how are you?
I'm still alive.
Monte's been very sick the last 3 days.
Actually, the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
I was a little bit sick, and I went to Chicago. That's when you had George on, and and my little bit of a chest cold turned into pneumonia, and I'm not quite 100% yet, but you know, duty calls, and had some lessons today, and back on TV here with you.
Yep. Today, right before we filmed, Monte and I got to do something we've never done before. What did we do?
Playing lesson.
Yeah, so we did a little playing lesson out on the course, and we were talking about how to do that. If you guys want to see that playing lesson, all you have to do is just donate to this page. There'll be a little link here. Anybody who donates any amount at all will get to see that. Monte, so when we were doing the playing lesson, just a little Cliff Notes version of it, we were talking about kind of the process of getting your game from the practice tee to the actual course.
Right.
And there's kind of an intermediary step before you do that.
See, to me, you know, golf goes in stages.
Yeah.
You know, first you learn to do it in the practice area.
Mm-hmm.
Then people would say, then you need to take it to the course and play golf. I've put in a step in between. Take your practice out to the golf course.
Yeah.
And then, you know, obviously when you're on the course, generally people say, oh, you know, you're supposed to be making a score. It's not practicing anymore.
Yeah.
I've put in an extra step to
Yep.
try and make the transition a little easier. Take your practice out to the course, then transition into making a score.
So you've kind of nailed it down on the range. Then, before you go try to shoot a score with it, especially if it's something fairly major, try to recreate those things in the environment of the golf course.
Right.
Yeah.
And you go out there
where you're not trying to shoot a score, you're not kicking yourself if
No, you're out there, you're hitting multiple shots, trying different versions, trying your new swing ideas and what you're working on off of different lies. This is a flat lie.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, go out there, ball above, ball below, you know, different, and go out there, you know, late in the day when no one's gonna care and practice what you're practicing.
All right, anybody who saw just a quick news thing here, there was a famous 3 shots that Tiger Woods hit. I shouldn't be laughing, but it was funny.
Oh, it's happened to all of us.
Yeah, it's happened to everybody. Not with you know, the kind of scrutiny that he has on any golf shot that he hits at this point. But just to recap for anybody who didn't see, Tiger is at a clinic, and he hits the first one with just kind of like a light, weak swing. It just, I mean, that tempo, that ball, even struck pure, was never going to get this 102 yards plunk in the water. Hits the second one. Now that one was ugly. That was a legitimately ugly one. That was half of a shank. That went to the right and in the water. And then he didn't want to take a third ball, but the host, rightly so, kind of muscled him into doing it. And that swing also was just like, it's just a stiff, wimpy swing. Where do you think Tiger is realistically as far as in the process? I mean, obviously you don't know personally, but...
Well, I mean, coming back from an injury is difficult.
Yeah.
Even if you're not an elite world-class player. And when you're an elite world-class player, it's even more difficult.
Yeah.
Because, you know, to an average golfer, you're injured, you kind of have a vague idea of what your motion is. You come back, it's kind of the same. Who cares?
Yeah.
You throw your hands at it, you launch it out there. Being tentative, especially with a back injury, it's a mess. I mean, I can speak from one of my students. He worked really, really hard. He got from an 18 down to around a 0 in about 18 months.
Wow.
And he worked really, really hard. And in December of 2014, he fell off of a ladder and completely shattered his right wrist. And he had to have surgery on it. And it's 18 months later, and he's able to score very well, but he hasn't gotten his swing back to where it was before the injury. So it's a tough game.
The thing that bothers me about Tiger, and there's probably some stuff that's going to come out years from now, maybe, to explain this, but Tiger's 40. He's not 67. He's not like Ben Hogan was in the backyard in Boca Raton or whatever. I mean, 40 is not old. In golf years, it's not old. Phil Mickelson is having the best stats almost he's had in 10 years this year, even though he hasn't won.
I mean, I'm almost 50. I'm 30 pounds overweight, and I am striking it better than I ever have in my life.
Yet Tiger's 40, younger than you, just a little older than me. He looks stiff and old and beaten up, and not only just beaten up, but he looks mentally in his face. He looks like a beaten person. Where do you think all this is coming from?
Well, you have to understand, Tiger has probably hit more, and people say, well, you know, there's VJ, but Tiger has probably hit more golf balls up to the age of 40 than most of the other world-class players have hit in their life.
Yeah.
So he has put a lot of physical wear and tear on his body. You said about his face, his personal issues.
Yeah.
Haven't been too fun for him.
Yeah.
On top of that, the scrutiny and the pressure that's put on him to perform, that adds wear and tear to you mentally.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's got, you know, people make all sorts of cast all sorts of aspersions at him about who knows what.
Yeah, right.
Lifestyle,
Yeah.
extracurricular activities,
Rumors.
some ugly rumors that I'm not going to bring up. I mean, I kind of just did, but I don't want to
It
give.
can't be ignored, though.
I don't want to give
the personal stuff can't be ignored.
You know, I've been on the inside a lot, and I haven't heard any definitive rumors where someone said, yes, this is true.
Right.
You know, so let's put that aside. I'm going to assume it's not true. He still has more miles on his body and has put his body under more punishment. And to me, pardon me, still a little stuffed up here. The swings that he's put on the last 5 or 6 years, I didn't like it.
That motion.
I didn't like it. I thought it put too much pressure on his body.
Yeah.
More than was necessary.
Yep.
I mean, the golf swing puts pressure on your body, but I thought his swing put undue pressure on his body. And actually, when I first saw it, the Foley swing, and again, nothing against Sean Foley. I have a lot of respect for Sean Foley, but the swing that came out that first January when he started working with Foley, I said it publicly. I said, he's going to hurt his back with that swing.
Yeah.
In my opinion, obviously this is only my opinion,
Yep.
I thought that was not as sound of an approach as he could have on his body. Because to me, Tiger could swing like Jim Furyk and still win golf tournaments.
Yep.
He's that skilled. He works that hard. To me, it should be all about, let's have a swing that puts the least amount of pressure on his body possible. And I don't think that has been the goal the last couple of years.
Especially because the thing that I read years ago, and this is when you're talking about how worn out he looks and how tired he looks. Years ago, Tiger had been quoted as saying a couple different places, and he was almost saying this like as if he was bragging. He was almost saying like, yeah, I work hard. And he's like, and Tiger had read somewhere when he was young that he quoted somebody saying the grown adult male only needs 4, maybe 4.5 hours of sleep a night. Have you heard this? Him saying this?
I know it's not me.
No, right. So Tiger said that he's up eating cereal and playing video games or whatever till I don't know when, 1. And then he's up at 4 a.m. or 4:30 in the morning, and then he's at it and he's after it. And I really think, because I read it in a couple different places, and I think it's like Insomnia or something, I really think that this lack of sleep over years and years and years, I mean, when you're young, you can do it. But I think that has caused an earlier deterioration.
Honestly, I had never heard that before, but to me, I like my sleep.
Oh, you need it. Oh, yeah.
If that being the case, that makes a lot of sense.
I think Dr. Conrad Murray is available, but I would keep him away from Tiger. Michael Jackson's doctor that put him to sleep permanently, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So moving on, so Monte and I were talking a little bit today about this kind of strange concert of things that have to happen in my swing, which I think is similar to a lot of people. And just so I have it on video for me and for you guys, let's talk about it a little bit, Monte. So I, like a lot of people, on the way down, am getting the shaft steep, where it's going straight up in the air.
Yeah.
and then as it's attacking, it's going like this.
Right.
What was the fix for me? And I think it's something similar for a lot of people.
Here's the thing. I don't want to say it's a different opinion,
Yeah.
but it's a different opinion.
Yeah.
Okay, let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
I think the shoulders are supposed to turn more level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
A lot of people.
Everyone's so scared of that because they don't want to go over the top.
Right.
Right.
See, in my opinion, your spine is tilted this way because you're forward bend, and it's tilted this way because your right hand is lower on the club than the left,
Yep.
which gives you some tilt of the spine this way as well.
Yeah, just from the way you hold
So
it.
when your spine is tilted this way and that way, that allows the shoulders to work around, okay? And that I talk about, there's an appearance that the right shoulder goes down, and that's what I think Tiger's problem is.
Putting any extra tilt other than what you've given yourself at address, putting
Correct.
extra
Right.
this.
So
Yeah.
to me, as long
It's bad,
as
yeah.
at the start of the downswing you're not standing the shaft up too much, and as long as your head is not moving toward the target, you can feel like your shoulders are literally turning, flat and level to the ground.
Yeah.
To me, my opinion is that when most golfers
Yeah.
like to turn the shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of the picture here and I almost fell over the
Sorry.
chairs. They like to turn the shoulders flat and then under.
Yeah.
To me, I like them to be fairly vertical and then more around. And to
Yeah.
me, that puts a lot less pressure on your back.
So show us those two things, Monte, flat and under.
Let me get back here a little bit more so we can see in that camera there.
Yep.
To me, there's a lot of flat turns and then the obvious over-the-top result of that. But a lot of golfers make flat turns and then they drop the right shoulder so they're
Yeah.
not over the top. To me, that's hurting my back.
So
just
the
sitting
opposite
here.
of that would be a
Little more vertical turn going back and then a little flatter turn coming through. And people would say, Monte, that's
Over the
steep,
top,
that's
yeah.
over the top. It's not. As long as you get the shaft working this way. See, now it's right out in front of me. But this whole pull the handle, hold the lag thing, people are standing the shaft up, then they have to go like this to not be steep.
Yeah, and that's so hard to be consistent
Right.
like that.
So
Yeah.
to me, that's the move. The hands work out, the shaft lays down, and then that allows your shoulders to turn nice and level.
Give us a quick, other than just doing that feel in slow motion, give us a quick drill for that.
Well,
If there is one.
there's so much movement in the golf swing. It's a confluence of events.
Yeah.
You can't just say, oh, just do this. But the one that I always say is too many people work the right arm and elbow like this.
Yeah.
The elbow works that way. I like the elbow getting forward. Because when the elbow gets forward, the shaft flattens out.
Yep.
Okay? So then when people first do it, when they first try it, this move leaves the club wide open, they hit it to the right, and they're like, oh, that doesn't work.
Yep.
But then you got to get the left arm working this way and the shoulders rotating around. If you drop the right shoulder and bring the elbow forward, then that ball's going over there.
Yeah.
But if you get the elbow forward and the shoulder out, that starts getting you the club in position.
Elbow forward, shoulder out. All right, cool.